16-year-old Victoria Moors competed at her first Olympic Games last year in London, where she played a crucial role in helping Canada achieve a historic fifth-place team finish, their highest ever for a women's team at the Games. In her own right, the 2012 Canadian champion is known for her floor routines, where she blends artistry with powerful tumbling unlike anyone else competing today. In this post-Olympic year, Moors has emerged as one of the leaders of the Canadian team, stealing the show with her smile and choreography at the American Cup and debuting a double-twisting double layout on floor at the Canadian Championships last month. Victoria, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'd like to start off actually with a non-gymnastics question for you. So a couple of people were wanting to know why you are a Penguins fan, even though you live in Ontario.
I don't know, because I'm like best friends with the GM's son. So I guess we kind of, picked a favorite and stuff. And, I get to go to all their games and stuff, get to meet all the players. So I guess I just kind of, like their team, and plus Crosby's on it, so which makes everything a lot better.
And so moving on to gymnastics, can you just tell us how you got started in gymnastics, like how old you were and who you looked up to, and how long you've been training with Elvira Saadi?
We started at KIPS, but Elvira was also coaching there too, and I started out in rhythmic for a bit, but then I think I just sort of transitioned over to artistic.
Did you like rhythmic?
I didn't do like competitive. It was like 4 or 5 when I did a rhythmic, so I didn't really know exactly what gymnastics was at the time. But no, I just did it for fun. My parents thought it'd be better for me to be jumping around at the gym rather than jumping at home on the couch. So.
And were you jumping around on the couch?
Oh yeah, I was a very, very hyper child.
And so I guess that translated pretty well into gymnastics right away, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Stayed out of trouble.
And so when did you turn elite, and when did you start thinking like, hey, I could do really big stuff with gymnastics, like traveling and representing Canada and things like that? At what age did it dawn on you that like, hey, this was really something?
I never really thought that far ahead. I just took it day by day and just had fun with it. Looking back from, 4 or 5 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be at this level. I always looked up to girls saying like, oh, I would want to be like them, but I would never actually think I'd be here. But, I always dreamed of it, but, always had those little day-to-day goals, never, just had fun in the moment.
That makes sense. And I take it that when one starts at KIPS, one does not begin working with Elvira directly. How old were you when you started working with her directly, and how did that come about? She helped me. I think she saw me at a young age and, saw that I had a little bit of potential in me. So she just kind of worked on me. Well, not worked with me, but like kind of helped me and helped me grow. But then I went into a group when I was, 8 or 9. That's when she started coaching me. I started progressing a lot. I see. And, when we think about your gymnastics, one of the first things that we think about are your gorgeous floor exercises. And has floor always been like the event for you?
I think so, yeah. Ever since I remember, I had, in a level 8 or 9, and I was known for my dance and, my powerful tumbling, I guess. I never really had high, amazing tumbling in, level 9 and stuff, but I really showed the more artistic side, as in dancing and, putting, passion into my dance. And it's also comes with Elvira. She always, makes sure I have the, my eyes are into it as long with my body movement. So always showing my face expressions, just making the floor routine more entertaining to watch as well.
And they are really entertaining. It's always something that stood out about your gymnastics. So we were curious, actually, do you do ballet training as well? Is classical dance training part of your repertoire?
I mean, we try to do it when we can. We worked on it a lot when we were little, but I don't always have time for it now.
Understood. And who choreographs your floor routines? Do you have say in the music choice and the movement choice, or is it all coming from a coach or choreographer?
The Assassin's Tango that I had for 4 years is the one I picked out, for sure. But Elvira was the one that found the music I have now, and she liked it. And then we got a few people to come in and work on it with us. So
very cool.
And Elvira worked a lot on this routine as well.
Was it hard to follow up on Assassin's Tango because it was such a beautiful signature piece? Did you at any point think, gosh, this is going to be hard to top?
Yeah, actually, it's a different kind of music that I have now, but I feel like I'll never stop, loving that routine. And even if I never got bored of my other routine now, so it is going to be hard to top it.
And, we watched all the videos, of course, from the recent Canadian Championships, and we are dying to ask you about the double twisting, double layout that you threw. Really props to you. You are the first person that we know of. I feel comfortable saying that, right, guys? That we know of who has thrown a double twisting, double layout, the first woman in a competition. Yep. And just how long have you been training that? And what was the process for learning it? And were you afraid to throw it in competition? Just so many questions.
Oh man, it's a tough skill. I mean, I worked for a long period of time on just double tuck, but it's completely different than double tuck. And after nationals, we learned that there's a special technique that I need to work on, and stuff like that. And I think hopefully, if I compete at Worlds, it'll be more successful than just nationals. I mean, nationals was the first time I competed it, and you can't have a successful skill unless you fall and stuff. So I think it's in that process as well.
What made you guys decide that it was ready to show at nationals? How long had you been working on the skill?
I think just not too long. It's just a couple months, I think. Yeah, a couple months. I think that's all I had.
And was it Elvira who came to you and said, Victoria, you've got a pretty nice double layout there. You've got a pretty nice double tuck there. Why don't we put the two together? Or did you have the idea hey, this double tuck's getting kind of easy. I think I'm ready for something new.
I think it was her idea. I'm not sure. It just popped in her head one day, and we kept working on it. I'm not really sure what made her think that, but I just started working on it, and then we both saw that it was possible. So that's when we just continued working on it. Finding different techniques and stuff. So.
Do you realize that if you compete it successfully at Worlds, you can submit to have it named for you, and it could be called the Moors?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I have been told that before, actually, but yeah, that would be a big step. But right now I'm just focused on competing the skill well.
Yeah, and we were sorry to hear that you got sick and had to sort of duck out on part of the nationals. Was that difficult for you? Have you ever gotten sick at a meet before? It sounds like it's not really pleasant.
Yeah. The first day, I just felt really tired, and I had cramps in my calf. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't punch. So a beam, I just was trying to avoid putting as much pressure on my calf as I could, which was tough. And then I woke up the next morning, and I just, my throat was, not my throat was sore, but I was just dizzy, and I was tired. And then I it all clicked together because I found out, I was sick, and then I went to see a doctor, and she's like, yeah, you've caught a virus and everything. So now the cramps and, the fatigue, it all like clicked together. So I'm glad, we got to take care of it. I didn't compete day 2, but, I'm just my goal was just to compete double straight at nationals. I think I didn't go well second day, but I just glad I competed it for the first time.
That explains your beam routine. We watched your beam routine, and you had the fall right before your dismount, and then you kind of like stood there for a second and like stretched your calf, and this had people talking like
the whole yoga. Yeah, that's why I did the whole yoga class before my beam routine, trying to stretch everything out. But yeah.
That makes sense. We were all wondering, like, oh my God, is she injured? Is it the Achilles? Is it something like that?
No, I just had those calf cramps, and those are the worst. You never realize how much you use your calf in your beam until it's actually not there anymore.
Definitely. And so we do have also some questions about the Olympics. So we'd like to go back to that. But actually, I wanted to ask you first about Elite Massilia in France in 2011. Mm-hmm. And that seemed like a really big breakout meet for you. You outscored Victoria Komova on both floor and vault, and it really got people talking. And so can you just take us back to that and maybe tell us if that competition was special for you, and what it meant to you, if anything?
I think that was my first, big high-level competition. But with all the bright lights and all the people and stuff. But I was very nervous, but I think that it was the competition, got me started, got my adrenaline going for the rest of the year. But I did gain a lot of experience from it, mm-hmm. because, for example, I not winging my routine, but my grip broke right before I had to do my bar routine. So I just was like, yell in and be like, where can I find someone's grip that they're not using right now? So I did my bar routine with one grip that, wasn't mine. So I think that really kind of gave me some confidence that, my routines, they're getting very solid, and, I could do it, even with a grip, that didn't really fit my hand well. So, yeah, that gave me a lot of experience.
Even with a stranger's grip. Who actually gave you that grip to use?
It was, I'm not sure. I think it was Natalie Bakulik.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not really positive. I'm not really sure. I just grabbed a random hand.
And then at 2 months after Elite Massilia, you are a first-year senior, and in January you go to London with the rest of the Canadian team for the test mm-hmm. event. And what was it like being a brand new senior, right out of the box, and being at this event and knowing okay, this really matters, because if I want to go to the Olympics, first we have to get Team Canada there. And so the pressure must have been really on for that meet. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just getting a chance, being with the girls for the first time. I mean, for example, Pei and Christina, those were the girls that I look up to when I was 10 years old, and now I'm competing with them. I was still in awe, even though they're warming up beside me and stuff like that. So I think that really gave me that feel of, what teams like and, what other countries are like. So I think it, all added up in the end just to getting experience, and it turned out very, very well at the end. The team worked together so hard, and I got to feel the team. I think we just got a great result from that.
That must have been a really special moment when you guys knew that Canada had made it through and you guys were going to be one of those top 12 teams. I was just wondering, was that the moment when the Olympic dream really became real for you?
Yeah, I don't think I realized how intense it was until we were waiting to get marched out, and the Brazilian girls were just bawling because they just made so. That's when we realized how special it was that we made a team to the Olympics. I don't think it hit us till that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it was just unreal, saying, Canada made a team. I'm just happy for Canada, but the next step was making that Canadian team.
What did you learn from Peng Peng Lee as a leader, being on the competition floor with her? As you said, you'd been watching her for 4 or 5 years. And, it seemed like she was a very special part of that team at the test event. And I was just wondering how that, influenced you.
Oh, she's always so calm, and she supports everyone. And she has very, very good sportsmanship, and that just kind of pulled the team together to make, what all of us just won. I think that really helped me as a person as well.
And so, if you don't mind my asking, what was it like in May when she got injured?
Oh, geez, I was on beam when she did the vault, and I could hardly finish my beam routine. Like, I was just like Shakira on the beam. Like, it could not stop, wobbling and everything. And I was just so worried. I was like, she's like the leader of the Canadian team. We didn't know the team at the time, but it was obvious that she would be on it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a big part of Canada and the growth.
After she got injured and it became clear that, it was the ACL and it just wasn't going to happen for her that summer, did she tell you anything personally, like about, you especially going on with chances to qualify for all-around finals, for an event final, that kind of thing?
No, I didn't really get the chance to talk to her, but, she's not the one to dwell on things. She definitely looks on the bright side of everything, which I love. But she was so happy for us at the end. Like, she was crying, giving us hugs everywhere, and she was our honorary captain and stuff, which, which definitely felt like almost she was on the floor with us pretty much, I think.
And after the Canadian Championships, what was the Olympic selection process like for you?
Oh, I was nervous. I know I had a good chance going in, but you'll never know. So I gave it my all. I said, there's, go big or go home. So that's just tried my best to, stay consistent and, stay on the beam and stuff. So it was nerve-wracking, but yeah, definitely one of the hardest things I've had to go through.
And at the Olympic Games, the Canadian women, they made history. 5th place in team finals. What was it like for you guys after you knew what you had accomplished there? Or during the competition? Really both.
Oh, it was unreal. I mean, it was so loud. And, some people say that even if they're like a spectator, you get an Olympic fever when you go to the Olympics. And that's completely true. There's no other feeling like being on that Olympic floor. It's like an awe that you'll never get in your whole life, and that's something you'll treasure always. So, but at the end of the day, it was just like, I couldn't go to the Olympics without that team, and we worked so hard to get there. But it was just really all the hard work paid off for that day. We worked so well together. And I'm so proud of the team and how we did. We had some struggles, but we got through it and we did our best.
What kind of struggles exactly? Could you give us an example?
For me, I had a back injury going into it.
And so was it painful to be doing floor or doing any of the events?
Yeah, I had a tear in my lower back. But that was like my first injury that I've had. in a while, actually. Like, I had, like, a sprained ankle when I was, like, 6 or 7. But other than that, the tear in my back was the only issue that I've had. So it gave me more of an experience of injuries rather than anything, actually. And I'm really proud I, had to overcome that injury. It taught me a lot of, like, from myself, actually.
Man, if you're a high-level gymnast and the only thing you could say about your injury history is that you had a sprained ankle when you were like 6, that is really impressive.
Oh, I know. I don't know how. I don't drink a lot of milk either, but, like, I don't know. I think it was my coach too. She puts me before gymnastics and my health and stuff before my gymnastics. Sorry, but I think that I've learned a lot from her as well with that.
So there's like good communication between the two of you. Can you say like, hey,
sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're tired, you say, hey, I'm I'm tired today. Can we go easy?
Yeah, she does that. I mean, she pushes when, it needs to be done. But, when she feels something's not right, she'll kind of accommodate you in that way and be like, just do one, but do one well. You know what I mean by that? So
yeah.
She still gets the job done, but in like a good way. Yeah.
And we ask all of the Olympians that we have on the show about sort of like behind the scenes stuff in the village. And so can you tell us about what you guys did there? Was there partying that you did? Was there, did you meet any celebrities, that kind of thing?
Oh, I met Michael Phelps, actually.
Really?
I did, yeah. We saw him in the cast. I kind of creeped him down and we got a picture with him.
And what was he like in person?
I mean, like I gotta go kind of thing, make it quick, but, after they got a picture with him, I guess, is definitely on my to-do list.
That's pretty awesome. And at home, when you came back, what was the reception like after the team did so well in London?
Oh, we're not like hockey players in Canada, so we don't get that type of spotlight. I mean, if gymnastics involved ice, it would be a lot different. But I think gymnastics made its way up in Canada now. Everyone's much more aware of the sport and then the gymnasts and stuff, and I think that's good. I mean, Canada is one of those well-rounded countries, and all sports are respected, but, gymnastics is still working its way up there. So, and the gymnastics community is in Canada, which makes more competition, but it makes me happy as well.
Well, we talk a lot about making gymnastics more of a mainstream sport, and we like to ask athletes what they think should be done to the rules or to the events or whatever that might make it more exciting in some ways for the public, like outside of the Olympics. And so, if you had one thing, if the International Gymnastics Federation came to you and said, Victoria, we want your opinion, what needs to be changed about our sport? What would you tell them?
Oh, that's hard. Geez. I'd say we should go back to the perfect 10 kind of stuff. Because all anyone remembers is that perfect 10 that Nadia got, and I think that's the kind of rule system we should go back to, actually. I mean, if you do a perfect routine, like no wobbles, you're stuck your dismount, you stayed on the bar or beam, whatever, I think that should be, a perfect routine. Not, Michaela Maroney belt and not getting that perfect score and them still finding some sort of deduction in that. I think that's what would please the public a lot more.
Definitely. The perfect 16.25 doesn't quite have the same ring, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Was it hard to get back in the gym after the Olympics? Did you take any time off?
My competition ended soon, so I think I didn't do the all-around final or the event finals. But after I came home from London, like when my flight landed the next day, I came to the gym.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't, do any skills. I just conditioned for a good couple of weeks, I think, and I still have my back to heal up, so.
That makes sense. And after the Olympics, of course, there's always this kind of generational shift. Like some of the older girls, like Christina, they go to college or they go back to college.
Yeah, it's I got to see them this weekend, actually, which is really nice.
Oh, really? What were you doing?
Yeah, it was a GCG awards banquet kind of thing, and, and the whole team was there, which is awesome. So.
Oh, that's right. We saw pictures. Yeah, and you guys got awarded, as you should have been.
Yeah.
And so, coming into this year, do you feel like you are now one of the leaders on the Canadian team? You and Ellie Black both look incredibly strong through the early competitions this year. What's it like at this point to be, you and really one of the representatives of Canadian gymnastics?
It's a little bit of a change because I went from like a rookie to, I guess, a veteran in a couple months. But it's, I'm still trying to, find my groove back into that, gymnastics frame instead of, the Olympics are so far away. And after the Olympics, it was hard to get back in the gym and get motivated because I was always working towards, that Olympic dream, getting to the Olympics. But now it's just kind of like, it's a different feeling. But, I'm starting to get back into that groove, popping in the new skills and stuff. And I'm still, balancing school with it as well, trying to graduate and get done with school. But I'm just taking it day by day, just trying to be a happy person, not letting anything, take me down and stuff like that. So.
Oh, it's a good philosophy. Can you give us some spoilers on the skills that you're working on, new skills that we might see from you soon in competition?
I'm working on a new release, but we'll see how that goes. And also just the double straight. That's a big one that I'm trying to master.
Definitely. What's the new release?
Sorry?
What's the new release?
It's a Toronto detective.
Cool. Very nice. And a question about Elvira, actually. If you had to describe her coaching style in one word, what word would you pick?
Her coaching style? I'd say Russian. Because their coaching style is very much like you're here till it's done. Under any circumstance, you're gonna work on it till it's good. Which is right. Some coaches are just like, oh yeah, try 2 more times and then move on. But she's like, just do it till it's done. 3 catch. I don't care how many you're gonna repeat, but you're gonna do it till it's done.
That is interesting. Mm-hmm. That is very interesting. And is that both the best and worst thing about being coached by her?
It gives me a result. We're kind of like the same person as well. We're not satisfied until we do it good. And I think that's the main reason behind it. It's almost like she's doing gymnastics as well. If I do something, then she's totally satisfied, happy for me and herself as well. So
I see. But I'm sure, like everybody says, at times that can get very tough in the gym.
Oh, it can. It's very hard mentally as well. You keep on repeating and it's still, not as well as you hoped. But, what she says is you got to do your amount. And that's what she's working on with me for my double straight. She says, just work on it, good or bad, in pit or on tramp, just do the skill and it'll pay back. So that's what she says.
Now, Elvira knows something about competing at the Olympics. She has 2 gold medals of her own.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She definitely knows how to entertain. I think she dances better than me now. She'd be like, oh, no, it's supposed to be like this. And then she, does my whole routine.
She takes the floor, and I'm sure that she still commands it.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch videos of her? She was an absolutely gorgeous dancer, like you are.
Oh, she was. I know. She's tall and skinny, has long legs, so she definitely used that to her advantage.
Did she give you any advice about competing at the Olympics? Did she get nostalgic when you guys were in London?
I didn't really always get the full feel of it, just because I was so stressed about my back, and I had to take a bit of time off before the Olympics. So, getting back in the routines and, mastering the routines was a really big challenge for both of us. So, plus she wasn't really she wasn't the team coach, so she wasn't on the floor with me. Well, she was second day, the finals, but, she was just jumpy and happy as well as me, so.
Is it weird to be in the Olympics and not have your personal coach down on the floor with you?
Yeah, it was, actually. I mean, it really gave me a lesson about how much she does for me and how much she supports me in competition.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. And we did want to ask you actually about the American Cup this year as well. You really stole the show on floor by winning floor, and the tumbling looked great. The new routine looked great. But I understand that you didn't know too far in advance that you would be competing there, right?
No, actually. I didn't. Actually, maybe I did. I'm not sure. There's a lot of girls being pulled. Not how she'd be like, oh, no, it's supposed to be like this. And then she, does my whole routine.
She takes the floor, and I'm sure that she still commands it.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch videos of her? She was an absolutely gorgeous dancer, like you are.
Oh, she was. I know. She's tall and skinny, has long legs, so she definitely used that to her advantage.
Did she give you any advice about competing at the Olympics? Did she get nostalgic when you guys were in London?
I didn't really always get the full feel of it, just because I was so stressed about my back, and I had to take a bit of time off before the Olympics. So, getting back in the routines and, mastering the routines was a really big challenge for both of us. So, plus she wasn't really she wasn't the team coach, so she wasn't on the floor with me. Well, she was second day, the finals, but, she was just jumpy and happy as well as me, so.
Is it weird to be in the Olympics and not have your personal coach down on the floor with you?
Yeah, it was, actually. I mean, it really gave me a lesson about how much she does for me and how much she supports me in competition.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. And we did want to ask you actually about the American Cup this year as well. You really stole the show on floor by winning floor, and the tumbling looked great. The new routine looked great. But I understand that you didn't know too far in advance that you would be competing there, right?
No, actually. I didn't. Actually, maybe I did. I'm not sure. There's a lot of girls being pulled. Not pulled, but they didn't compete. I just forget who it was, but yeah, Kylie Ross didn't compete, and Elizabeth Price also. So I was really nervous, but I mean, Caitlin and Simone are amazing gymnasts as well, but it's Elizabeth Price and Kyla, the Olympians that did extremely well, you know, got the amazing everything pretty much. So, but I think the American Cup, I was just, you know, it doesn't even matter if I come last. I'm at the American Cup, which is a huge honor. It's one of my favorite competitions. So I was like, let's just have fun with it. So I think I did, and it went pretty well.
Yeah, you certainly didn't finish last, right? Did you see that? Yeah. Did you first see that result coming?
No,
when you were thinking about it?
I was just like, I was like, at least come fourth. I mean, like, I don't really think about what I want or what I want to win. I wanted to go out there and have fun.
And you seem to be having a great time with Caitlin Ohashi and Simone Biles on the floor during the meet. It's always nice to see, you know, just like the smiling and the goofing off. A lot of times everybody is so serious.
Oh, yeah, I know. And I'm just having fun with it.
Had you met them before?
I think I've saw Caitlin before, but haven't really talked to her. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
And, you know, before I turn it over to Jess, who has a couple of listener questions, I have two questions, not completely related to gymnastics also, but so your cat, we understand, has sort of gained her own special Gymternet following. Can you tell us about her rise to fame?
My cat?
Your cat.
Oh, yeah. Boston?
Yes.
Yeah. We have like 4 cats, but I guess like we have 4 family members as well, so I think we all just kind of snatched one. But I mean, Boston, I don't know, I got him for my birthday when I was like 9 or 10, and I think we've just been like best buds. Like when I come in, you know, all tired and sad from a tough training day, and I just lay on my bed, he'll like, you know, lay right beside me. So I think he knows me pretty well, and my parents say he always cries when I go for like week-long trips and stuff. So, but he's just like a nice guy all around, and he's kind of funny looking, so which makes everything a lot better. And yeah,
this is a cat with a mustache.
Yeah, Boston. Yeah.
Awesome. And we also understand that you are a fan of Nutella.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. I also am a fan of Nutella. I think I can say for the entire Gymcastic crew, we are fans of Nutella.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't eat it anymore to apparently has lots of calories and stuff, but you know, I love it.
So we have a question first from Daniel Bertolina, and he says, are you working on any floor upgrades, and can you please remind her that the whole, in all caps, the whole freaking Gymternet loves her, please and thank you. So any upgrades?
Well, I think my upgrade is the double straight.
Awesome.
But
and we're super
other than that, not really, yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, that's kind of like a huge, gigantic, massive deal, and you could probably never, ever have another upgrade on floor because it's so fantastic, so we're good with that. I think really he was more concerned that we let you know how much the Gymternet loves you. Okay. So, let's see. Beautiful Gymnastics on Twitter wants to know, where did the inspiration come for her to do her bars dismount? It's so deliciously old school.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I always did the tough one. I'm like, well, can I just do it? If I do a layout, will it be like more? Or will it be like a D? And then she's like, I don't think it's ever been done. So I worked on it. And I think it's extremely hard. I mean, like, just getting your feet over and, you know, getting your shoulders up after the layout half. It just solves a lot of, you know, back and stomach muscles. Every time I work on it, I can't even like walk the next day because my back muscles are so sore. But you know, it's interesting. It's something new, which I like. So I think it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, it definitely stopped the crowd. I mean, I remember watching American Cup with some friends who aren't gymnastics fans, and when you did your dismount, they were like, "What was that? That looked like the hardest thing anybody did." You know, so
Yeah, I've tried every dismount in the book too, and I think that's the one that sticks.
Yeah, we love it. Okay, so Kathy Hennis on Twitter asks, what happened at the American Cup that made her and Caitlin Ohashi such good friends? Anything happened behind the scenes? Any inside jokes you can tell us about?
Oh, geez. I think we laughed during the competition at, funny stuff that happened, and we got stuck in the drug testing together, so we had to go through all that crap together also, but it was funny. We had to wait to pee, so we're just sitting there for a bit, just, talking and stuff, and now we text 24/7.
Awesome. I love that. I remember Maroney and Panor got stuck in drug testing together too, or not Panor, but Isbasa, and after Vault, and they were talking about how they had a really good time. They got to bond. So drug testing, good things can come from it.
Oh yeah, I know.
So let's see. Madeline Moritz wants to know what your favorite subject in school is.
Subject in school? Well, I guess lunch and spare don't really count as a class, but I'd have to say maybe gym or English, I guess, yeah.
I love that you said lunch and spares your break or your free period.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Okay, so Justin on Twitter wants to know, how does she feel about her new fan following, and what do her parents and coaches think about it?
My parents, I don't really get the chance to, talk with them much since we're always busy, and the only time we actually get to talk is the car rides to gym and to my house. But I think when they scroll through my Twitter, oh, Tori, what is my daughter then thinking? So,
have they been surprised by how much attention you've gotten, and your Twitter and Instagram have gotten since after the Olympics?
Oh, I know. They're kind of astonished, actually. I told my dad I hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. He's like, wait, what? So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. We don't have as much fame as the U.S. gymnasts, but I just try to relate to my followers as much as I can. I try to let them know I'm not just a gymnast, I'm a human as well, and, teenage girl.
Yeah, I think that's what people really like about it. They feel like they get kind of a glimpse into your life and that you don't take everything really seriously, so it's very fun to watch. And I should tell people you're on Twitter and Vine and Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Vine videos are fantastic too.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Next one is, what were your thoughts? Okay, this is from Arabian Punch Front on Twitter. He asked, what were her thoughts on the floor qualifications? Nerves? Did she hold back a little? And did it change how she attacked floor in team finals?
Well, first day, I kind of had a rough beam before that, so I just tried to, push that out of the way and focus on floor, but I think the beam kind of dragged on with me. But, I still put full effort in, tried to have fun with it and do the best that I could. But, second day I was more prepared and just more ready to, hit that floor routine. But also first day was one of the first floor routines I've done in a couple weeks since the injury, so at least I got through it. I was just happy that I got through it and didn't fall.
Wow, so you hadn't done a full floor routine until you actually competed it in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think that was my second or third one.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Ooh, okay. We had this question from many of our listeners. They want to know what your thoughts are on doing college gymnastics and going to the U.S. to do NCAA.
Oh, I don't really know. I still have another 2 years of school, so I think I'm just going to take it day by day. My parents were like, oh, hey, Tori, I heard on the internet that you accepted to, UCLA or, Florida. And I'm like, oh, funny joke, Mom. Because, I I guess there's rumors going around and stuff, but I haven't accepted to anything yet. Or, I am interested in the future, but I haven't really made any big commitments yet.
Gotcha. Okay. The internet or the interwebs will be very interested to know that. I'm sure there'll be even more rumors now. Okay, so in the U.S., when you do gym class, you can get out of it if you do enough gymnastics. Like if you do 10 or 15 hours of gymnastics, and you can prove
I heard of that.
So you can't do that in Canada?
I'm in an elite athlete program, which means I can do a co-op, but that gives me a credit for doing gymnastics, which works out pretty well. So it's pretty much like a spare.
Gotcha.
But I don't do gym class anymore because I decided, if I get hit in the head with a football or something, Elvira wouldn't be too happy.
So before, when you had to do it when you were younger, were you the strongest one, and did you school all the boys in push-ups and pull-ups?
Yeah. I was actually pretty good at high jump in grade 7, which is actually odd because I think I jumped, the height of, the height that I was. So.
Whoa. That's major. Well, no wonder you can
it was it was 3 meters, I think, almost. I don't know. Not 3 meters, no, sorry, but I don't know. It was pretty high, I think.
That totally makes sense that you can do the tumbling you can do now, because you got serious hops. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have for you. Is there anything else that you would like your our listeners to know, or your Instagram followers, or any message you want to deliver?
Just have fun with it.